Guys, in today's video I am going to show you kind of like a DIY or a tutorial of some of the things I do to paint. So if you can see here, I have a canvas, a paintbrush, and a little bowl with paints in it and some water. The colors are yellow, orange, and red. Actually, I think it's fuchsia. So I'm making a Lion King inspired painting canvas, and I start off with the red. I got my paintbrush wet and then dipped it in the red, and then literally just went back and forth down the canvas. And like I said, I actually think this is fuchsia, not red. I'll have to double check. And then I instead of wiping off my paintbrush, I went ahead and dipped it in the next color, which was the orange color. That way it blends in. I wanted the colors to kind of have a smooth transition, not a rough transition. You can see right there how the colors get lighter as I go down the canvas. Now I'm continuing to go down the canvas here, and I go back up a little bit if I see like a hard line so I can kind of make sure that it becomes smooth. And I also did the side of the canvas because I like my canvas to be completely covered even on the edges. So there's the orange, and I'm blending it right in there with the rest of the colors. And I probably did about half of the canvas in the red / fuchsia and the orange before I transitioned into the yellow. You can see right here I have not quite transitioned into the yellow, but I will in just a second. And right there I have transitioned into the yellow, if you can see that there. It doesn't quite get to the yellow until the bottom, and that's the whole point. Is I kind of wanted it to look like either a sunrise or a sunset, and I believe that it really did do that. See that how the yellow gets more and more yellow down towards the bottom, and then there goes more yellow. And like I said, this is a Lion King canvas, and you see it started to get a harsh line, so I moved it back up a little bit. And this is in it is sped up so that you can see it. It actually took about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to paint. I did have to let the canvas dry before I started doing the rest of the painting, and you see right there I'm also smoothing out the edges on the side of it so that all the paint is covered on the sides of the canvas as well. And look, I'm going back over it just a little bit to make sure that it looks good. So it is very smooth transitions here, and it's not so smooth that you can't see the transitions. It's just smoother than the harsh lines that you would see. And the way I do that is, so now right here I'm drawing the picture that I want. I'm literally hand drawing it. I did Google an image to decide what I would do, but for the most part, and for the whole thing, I'm drawing the image myself. I'm using a pencil, so I'm drawing Simba. Also, like I said, I did keep my brush wet the entire time for the smooth transitions when I was going back and forth, and I also left the color on there. I didn't wipe any of the color off to do the transitions. That way it was not a harsh line. So like I said, here I'm using a pencil, that way I can erase where I need to before I go over it. And instead of going over it with paint, I actually go over it with a paint pen. And now I'm spelling out Hakuna Matata on the side over there, and I did a lot of erasing there. For me, abstract and animals tend to be easier. Letters and faces are the hardest for me, and I have no idea why, because you learn at a young age to actually write letters, but for some reason it's difficult for me. I have no idea why. Right, so you just see me finishing up the Hakuna Matata, and you can actually see the yellow in here much better now that I've moved it in the frame. And those are paper towels underneath my canvas. You can use newspaper, you can use plastic, whatever you want. I tend to use paper towels because I'm usually doing it on my kitchen table. And then once I'm done with this, I take a paint pen for all of it. I did not use paint. I used a paint pen to trace around Simba and to trace around the Hakuna Matata, which you see here now. I did go over it a couple of times to make it a little bit thicker so that it wouldn't be too thin. And that's because I'm actually sending this picture to a friend, and by the time you see this video, because I recorded this in the summer, by the time you see this video, my friend should already have the image. And there I am just tracing it. So the brand of paint pen, I've tried several different brands, and this one I think is called like Pasco. It is a Japanese paint pen. I order them on Amazon. They are the best that I've found. They don't clump. You don't have issues with painting. If they start to seem to wear down a little bit, you just kind of blot them on a paper towel or something and then continue on. But this brand is definitely the best brand that I came across. And if you can see here on the face, I decided that the pencil drawing was not what I wanted, so I moved it when I used the paint pen. And that's fine to do, because when you're done, you erase everything anyway, which you'll see that I did once this is finished. So again, I'm not a professional painter. I didn't take painting in school. My sister did, but I did not. I just kind of started painting because I liked it, and I found out that, you know, patience pays off. I'm not a very patient person, but patience does pay off, and usually things turn out to look good. If you can see in the bottom right corner right there, that is where the paint pen kind of stopped working for a minute, and I blotted it on the paper towels. So like I said, that is the best way to do it, and it works very well when you do it that way. I would never blot it on your canvas, because then you'll just get a big blotchy spot right on your canvas, and it's harder to fix that. So you see me here filling in all the letters for Hakuna Matata, and I really do enjoy painting. I wish I had more time to paint, but I don't really have a whole lot of time. And so for the canvas, actually, I thought I'd tell you, I did get this canvas. I got a pack of, I believe, 5 or 6 for $10 at Target. So it is, or not Target, I'm sorry, Hobby Lobby. So it is the cheaper canvas. To me, when I'm painting, I don't need to have the expensive canvas. I'll buy the cheap canvas. I haven't noticed the difference. I'm sure there is a difference. A painter would probably be able to tell you the difference. But my paint pens, to me, I'm very picky with that. The paint is acrylic. It's like $1.09 for a bottle, and we didn't even use half the bottle. And then the paintbrush, I actually do prefer quality paint brushes, because if you buy the cheap ones, little pieces of the paintbrush will end up in your artwork. So I do get quality paintbrushes. I will spend more money on paintbrushes. Now I don't go and spend $50 on paintbrushes. I still get my paintbrushes at Hobby Lobby. I just get them. I'd say, I think the brush that I used for the canvas was probably like a $15 brush. It was $10 or $15. You can buy packs where they're like, I don't know, $8 for a big mix of paintbrushes. But like I said, I prefer the quality over quantity when it comes to paintbrushes, so that the bristles do not end up in my work. And then, that's it. I think the paintbrush, the canvas, the paint pens, and the paint. Yeah. So the cup that I used with a little bit of water, I already had those cups. I mean, if you've got, you could probably use a mug if you want to, but I always use the throwaway cups because I don't want paint to stain everything. And acrylic paint, by the way, if you get it on your clothing, it does not come out. So please be leery of that if you are going to use acrylic paint, or if you're going to have your children use acrylic paint. I have my kids use acrylic paint when we do Christmas ornaments. We do Christmas ornaments every year and paint them and put them on our tree. and they tend to make a mess, so I make them put old clothes on. I will say that the acrylic paint seems to come off my kitchen table when I accidentally get it on there, because I'm not the neatest person when it comes to painting. Sometimes I get it all over the place. Like you can see, it's all over the paper towels there. But for the most part, it is a pretty easy to use. Acrylic is. It just doesn't come off clothing. So while I'm finishing up here, I thought I would go ahead and do housekeeping while you're just watching me paint here. And the housekeeping involves saying that I have partner channels, which is Heather over at the Disney Housewife and Alicia over at Cinder Alley Loves Disney. I have a Instagram, a Twitter, and Snapchat, and I'm at Christy Lee A and all those, and you can find my Instagram link down below in the description. I have a P.O. box if you'd like to send me a postcard or mail. I really love postcards and I love letters. You can find that information down in the description. I also have a Facebook group called Christy's Corner, so if you'd like to go check that out. And then lastly, I have a PayPal, never required, never expected, but greatly appreciated if you would like to support my channel. And then anything that I have coming up, well, I have some more collabs coming up in the new year, so stay tuned for those. There's some fun ones, unique ones, ones I haven't done before. One that I have done before. Other than that, I think that about wraps it up for my housekeeping. If you like videos like this, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And that's about it for my housekeeping. And I will speak some more in just a minute. For now, I will let you watch the rest of this. So right here, you see me erasing all the pencil marks on the canvas, and I just have like a small little tip eraser that goes on the end of a pencil. I could have used a pencil eraser, but I thought this tip eraser would do the job better. There it is, the little green one, and that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye now.